Hello, Internet. This is Irish Brian here. Some of you may have seen a video that I put up a couple of weeks ago to do with some tuners that were on a guitar that I bought from Rumble Seat Music. It was a $10,000 guitar, and I had emailed them asking them, was everything original, including the pickups and the tuners. And when I got the guitar, I didn't realize that the tuners weren't original, but about a couple of months later, somebody pointed it out to me, and I thought, oh, that's odd. Reputable store, I emailed them and all that, and I initially thought, okay, maybe they made a mistake or something. People online said, oh, don't worry about it, reputable store. Even when they didn't know which store it was, they said any store would take care of that for you. So I thought things would be fairly, would go well when I called them up. But I don't know why. I just thought I'd record it. Maybe,
Hello. Okay. I called Elliot, and his exact words, it's been over a month since you've had it, and you didn't contact us. You should have contacted us immediately.
Guys saying it's all original, so I feel like I trusted you guys.
Of course. Well,
that little voice in your head that says if you don't, you'll regret it. So I did record it, and I was kind of shocked a little bit that a reputable store would act that way over something as small as a $50, $100, $200 set of tuners. I've since actually got a set of tuners that are on their way to me. Hopefully they'll arrive within the next couple of weeks. And I don't care so much about everything original, but this guitar was kind of pretty much all straight. So I really like the idea that even the tuners were right and everything. I have the guitar up for sale right now. The reason being that I managed to get a gold top 52, a chance at one. So I thought, oh shit, I have to sell something. So that one went up on the block. But we'll talk about that later. I thought, hey, a lot more interesting than the tuners on my guitar is the whole reaction when I posted the video of the call online, because people's reactions before and after switched quite a lot. Now, a lot of people were very supportive, and we'll get into that in a minute. But some people were, accusing that I had done something wrong. I've been playing for like 30 years. I've been buying vintage guitars for about 3 years. I'm not an expert by any means. I'm not even sure a lot of people are experts.
I lied my way into the job. They hired me. We're all just trying to learn as much as we can here. And that's early on where I realized I was never going to be an expert. And anyone that says they're an expert, there's too many anomalies to it. But there are people that have seen a lot of guitars and are really knowledgeable people.
But the people kind of came after me personally as if I kind of brought it on myself by not knowing enough. And I thought, well, how many people who buy guitars like this do know enough? I mean, who do we trust? We have to trust somebody, right? I mean, not everybody can be experts. These dealers can't survive by just selling from one expert to another expert. They, at some point, want people like me to part with our money. And who do we trust? Or do we have to become experts ourselves? So I thought this was kind of interesting. So let's talk about some of these questions that kind of popped up and see what you think about the reactions and what you think about some of the stuff people have been saying. So let's get into it. Oh, if anybody, dealers especially, don't like what I'm about to say, I'm not trying to start a war here, but you can print out this poster and put it up in your store to make sure you don't sell to me anymore if you don't want to. Some of the things I wanted to talk about was the whole idea that people seem to think it was important that I was flipping a guitar. Let's talk about that and what that means. I'm not exactly sure what the logic is there, but there you go, why that makes a difference. But okay. Then I wanted to talk about this idea of the grace period. This was brought up by a few people, including Casino Guitars, who made a reaction video to my video. Thanks for that, guys. I really appreciated that. What does this mean, the grace period? Who exactly is it there to serve and help? Do vintage dealers really expect you to do verification after you receive the guitar? I mean, I understand, if it's some guy on eBay or maybe some random person on Reverb or Craigslist, but when I buy from a vintage dealer, I have a different mindset. Maybe I'm stupid here, but I thought things were different. Let's talk about that. What's a reputation really worth? I mean, these vintage dealers often do charge a bit more than you would pay an average person online from Reverb. In some cases, I think it's actually justified to charge more. They are actually giving you a certain peace of mind. Or am I being stupid? Or are we being stupid by paying them more and treat them different? Maybe they're no different. I don't know. And then finally, I just want to compare buying from a dealer and buying from a regular player on Reverb. There's a lot of people out there who are like me, who, we collect guitars. We're trying to, experience all these amazing guitars one at a time maybe, or a few at a time, because we can't keep them all. If you buy from me, is it different from buying from, Norman's Rare Guitars or Guitar Point or some store in Denmark Street or ATB or Emerald City Guitars? Is it any different? Should it be any different? Are we stupid to think it's different? Anyway, if you're interested in hearing me discuss and maybe chiming in yourself in the comments, please continue to watch. So let's get into this. Flipping guitars. This has to be probably the most kind of bizarre personal kind of attack. And I say it's a personal attack because, I mean, this has nothing to do with you buying a guitar from a dealer. I mean, why would a dealer care what you're going to do with the guitar and flipping a guitar? And I have to say, after these comments, the next time I go into a vintage guitar store and I'm looking at a guitar, I'm going to turn to the store clerk and I'm going to say, "You're not flipping this guitar, are you?" Because apparently that is a bad thing for somebody to do. Or maybe it's just when it's you and me that does it. I don't know. I don't really get this. Apparently, if I bought the guitar and I'm selling it soon after, that just means, well, I only have myself to blame because, I'm getting myself into this business without knowing enough, apparently. So this has damaged my reputation and only helped, apparently, Rumbleseat there. Thank you, Trey. What else do we got here? In the call, I mentioned that it was like a month since I had the guitar. It was 2 months. Now that, again, I bought the guitar in July, but because of COVID, the guitar was stuck and I only got it in October. So that also means that I should not complain or that it's okay what happened. I don't really get it. And also I shouldn't have been recording the conversation, which is totally legal, by the way, in Tennessee and in Sweden, so that's not a problem. Oh, by the way, I posted this on the Gear page, and they jumped into action right away and deleted my account and banned me. So, you take your reputation in your hands apparently when you criticize a vintage dealer. But what the hell? I don't know if you decide. Yeah, somebody here at Azteca said that it's not really relevant whether I was buying it to sell it or not. I mean, it's not, you're not protected if you're going to keep it for forever. They didn't know when they responded to me, so I don't really get it. By the way, all the people that kind of were a little bit extra nasty, all turned out to be pretty much all of them friends of Elliot Michael. So he's got his little fanboys there that are willing to be attack dogs if anybody says anything bad about their hero. So, oh well. Now, let's talk about this grace period. A number of people were talking about, you've got a certain amount of time to respond. A grace period is like where, maybe you get the guitar, it's a piece of wood, it's not an iPhone, so, you might not like the neck, or maybe it smells of cigarette smoke. You can send it back and they quite generously will give you your money back. This, I thought, was supposed to be something that was a good thing for the buyer. That, you can send it back and no questions asked. Maybe sometimes they have a thing called a 10% restocking fee, so they'll charge you money if they think you've been wasting their time. Hopefully that isn't applied too often. Let me know if it is. But I didn't think it was something that was there to really benefit the seller. I sold a 2007 Gibson Hummingbird a few days ago. And I said to the guy, send it back if you don't like the guitar, I'll give you your money back. I said to him, you got 24 hours, 48 hours, just whatever. I didn't do it because I was hoping that he didn't spot it was a Chinese copy, you know. And if he doesn't catch it within 24 hours, well, good for me, you know. I got away with it. I don't get that. Yeah, here's another guy saying that, you know, I had this time limit that I have 24 hours to catch whatever's wrong, and I was trying to flip the guitar. That seems a long time. So I guess we're all supposed to be experts that can take a guitar apart within 24 hours and check those things. I mean, repro tuners, you'd think that that would be spotted by an expert, but I wasn't an expert. You'd think that, and if that, you know, shouldn't Rumble Seat have spotted it? I don't really get it. I don't get that idea. If you look at one of the people that I admire online, a guy called Charlie Gelber, who runs OK Guitars and the website es-335.com, he says that a lot of things you don't spot, even dealers don't spot them. Is that thing really a path or not? There are some dishonest dealers out there, and the best thing you can do is just spread the word if people aren't treating you right, and I have to agree with that. Yeah. He spots mistakes all the time made by dealers and by private people. So, you know, you gotta watch out. You know, my feeling is that most guitar dealers out there are honorable. That if you do have a problem, that they'll try to put it right. That their first instinct isn't to look at the calendar and see if they can get away with it. You know. Okay, so let's move on to the next section, which is, you know, are you really supposed to be an expert that takes a guitar apart and verify it before you buy it or verify it immediately upon receipt? Yeah, another thing that was mentioned was that, you know, okay, maybe you don't have to wait until the guitar arrives. You should, if you're buying it in person, maybe you turn up at the store, you should verify the guitar there before you actually pay for it. As Baxter at Casino Guitars said in their reaction video.
When we buy vintage guitars too, like, you know, I will take the guitar apart on your coffee table if I drive to your house to make sure the pieces are correct. But
I'm not sure exactly what would happen if I turn up at Rumble Seat with my bag of tools and say, hey, I'd like to take apart your 1960 Burst. I'm not sure what the reaction would be. Michael James Brown there says that you have to take things apart. It's up to you. You have to examine a guitar immediately. That was from the Les Paul forum. And on the gear page, somebody said that the pictures that are put up by Rumble Seat are plenty big enough for you to figure it out. So let's actually, I found actually a video online that shows exactly what you're supposed to do with those high resolution pictures to verify, say for instance, that burst that they have up online right now. So let's see how a real vintage expert examines a guitar.
Enhanced 224 to 176. Enhance. Stop. Move in. Stop. Pull out track right. Stop. Wait a minute. Go right. Stop. Enhance 57 to 19. Enhance 15 to 23. Give me a hard copy right there.
Okay, that was a bit of a joke, but I mean, that seems to be what's expected. Kim over there, our attack dog, seems to have thought that, yeah, you have a specific time, I bought it to resell it, I waited outside the time limit, and I didn't spot the tuners were wrong. Yeah, basically it's all on me. It's all on me. Yeah, you have to take it apart immediately. Again, Michael, again. So, what else? yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, then, it's basically on you. You can tell reaper tuners just by looking at them. But apparently, Rumbleseat didn't. So what does that say about them? Same thing, I guess. When I bought a 1958-59 Jazzmaster couple of years ago, I bought it from a private guy in Brooklyn. Went to his apartment with $4,000 cash in my back pocket. It was a refin, so you take what you take your chances. And when I got it back to Sweden, I did take it to an expert around the corner. And they took it apart and gave me an authentication of all the parts. So it turned out to be a good purchase, went really, really well, but it might not have. Now, the seller put up these really detailed internal photographs, so I was able to check things out a hell of a lot better than what you get from Rumbleseat. Now, maybe they send you internal photographs as well if you asked for them, but they certainly don't make it easy. And I sometimes wonder whether these expert dealers put up a few photographs on purpose. They don't want people posting them online on internet forums and causing a hell of a lot of questions that they then have to answer and get swamped in questions. So they probably know what they're doing. They don't want you asking too many questions and getting other experts saying fake, fake, fake. We've all seen that. Should you take guitars apart? Now, let's take a look and see what Willie over at Willie's Guitars has to say about that.
But here's the point of this. If you screw in neck screws and these go in and out through these holes, eventually the screws will just fall out. They no longer do their job of holding the guitar together. And it's just bad health to keep taking a guitar apart. Now, my point, try not to take all these poor things apart. Don't let somebody take a screwdriver to your poor guitar and take the neck on and off, and then the next guy takes the neck on and off, and then the next guy takes the neck on and off. You wouldn't do that to a new Fender, would you? Why would you do it to a precious collectible? Don't take these apart. Don't make me mad.
Okay, I get what Willie's trying to say. If a guitar is unquestionably original, then why question it? But then it comes down to trust. Do you trust the person that told you that it was unquestionably original? Who am I supposed to trust? What if I live in the middle of Wyoming or Montana somewhere, an hour from any guitar store? Do I then trust the internet? This idea that it's all on you, I don't think it's the right way for vintage dealers really to make a buck. They can't be just selling to experts. They have to at some point sell to normal people who live in normal places. If this is the attitude that you've got 24 hours, that's going to bite them in the ass, because the more honorable people who say, hey, if we make a mistake, we'll make it right. We're not going to just look at the calendar and see can we get away with it. Those people hopefully will be more prevalent, So what's a reputation really, really worth? I got a lot of really good positive comments, even from Bob Wooten there of the Bob and Ramon Guitar Show, the Guitar Show. That's one of my favorites. I think Bob is actually one of the people that I kind of would like to be eventually. I'm not a dealer. I'm not in it for the money. Just in it to try and experience all these guitars, So that was really appreciated, Bob. It's funny because when people didn't know who the guitar store was, or even when they first found out, people like my favorite Kim there thought that it would be sorted out. He even trusted Elliot's reputation until the moment when the response was made public. I posted that video, and then you can see his response completely switched to being the attack dog. So what can you do? Again, a lot of people are saying that this is why you pay reputable dealers, a high price, more than just your average Joe, because you are hoping that they have a reputation that you can rely on. If you can't, then please make that clear, because I don't want to be paying more for something that isn't worth anything. Some people thought I should get money back from them. It's not a lot of money in the big scheme of things, but it does show you that if they can get away with kind of screwing you over, that they will. I guess, as Casino Guitars mentioned, if you're in a different country, they probably think you're much more vulnerable and they can get away with it. So, yeah. Thank you there, Ampegged, a silver supporting member on the Gear page. A lot of really good support on the Gear page, actually. strange that they then deleted my account, but what are you going to do? You can pause the video and check out and read this if you want. Yeah, they are a top tier vintage dealer, and you would think, yeah, yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, I was actually looking at that Tom Bukovic smuggler telly. I actually emailed them asking them what the weight of it was. They came back and said it was £8, which now, of course, who knows how much it weighs? Maybe it's £12, but it's up to me. I got 24 hours to find out that they were lying. Yeah, so this is what I mentioned in show day earlier. You know, what's your reputation really worth? Is your first instinct to look at the calendar, or is it to make things right? So here's where I wanted to talk about comparing dealers and people like you and me. If somebody buys from Norman's or Southside or Chicago or Emerald City Guitars or Guitar Point, is it worth it? Should you pay more? People thought that me even making this public, and this kind of brings about the whole idea of, you know, a lot of people are going to keep quiet if they've been screwed over, because immediately your reputation, everything that they can attack with what you've done in the deal, they will attack you. On the right hand side here, you can see my feedback on Reverb, all 5 stars. You know, that's something that I look at when I buy on Reverb. So if I find somebody with a lot of 5-star reviews on Reverb, some local collector, and there's a kind of a network of collectors, especially in Europe, of people who contact each other and always know what's up for trade or sale. So we don't go through dealers. We kind of buy and sell to each other a little bit. I'm kind of new to it. But I think I kind of trust these people a hell of a lot more, because I can ask each other, you know, what about this guy over here in Germany or this guy in Finland? And I get straight, you know, feedback on what they've done and whether they're trustworthy or not. And that means a lot. But apparently my reputation, thank you, Alexis, means nothing anymore. You know, things got a little bit nasty and maybe a little bit funny. You know, I'm a comedian, so I like to make jokes. With Guitar Point, for instance, I bought a guitar from them back a couple of years ago. It was the most expensive. It was a 66335 I bought from Detlef. And with Guitar Point, they put up a lot of photographs. You actually get a CD with high-res photographs that you can then pass on to the next buyer or next owner. You even get a laminated, let's move this thing out of the, oh shit. You even get a laminated sheet of all the specifications and all the measurements that they did, that you can then pass on and print and, you know, have in your ad if you do sell it on. And that, I know, is very much appreciated by people. So I'm kind of happy to pay that little bit extra to the guys at Guitar Point, because you get that easy peace of mind. I don't know what would happen if I found out that something that they wrote in that laminated paper was wrong. If I contacted them a year later or half a year later and said, hey, you know, that pickup was actually rewound or isn't original, would they make it right, or would they say, hey, buddy, you know, sorry, you got 24 hours? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they've got a good reputation that they care about. So. But with Rumbleseat, you get those dark photographs. I mean, they look beautiful. I've actually used them as backdrops on my television and on my laptop. So they look beautiful, but can you really zoom in and figure out whether that knob is the real thing or not? I don't know. Yeah, and you don't get much of a description either. So that's just the way it is. Anyway, so that really is the end of what I wanted to say. What do you think? Am I full of shit? Do you trust these dealers as much as you thought you did anymore? Give me your comments, and thank you for watching.